What did that achieve?
Hello, this is The Agenda from Blood Red. I am Dan Austin. This is Joel Rabinowitz. We are from Liverpool.com and we're here today to talk about the anniversary of Jurgen Klopp joining Liverpool. Joel, it was 4 years ago. It feels like a lifetime already in the most positive sense of that phrase. It's not been perfect since the start, but realistically, no one could have asked for any more from Jurgen Klopp than what he's given us so far.
No, I think it's gone well beyond even kind of our wildest expectations. I know he said in his first press conference he did the whole doubters to believers thing, and I think he said within the 4 years we'll have at least one title. I'm not sure if he meant Premier League title or a big title.
He clarified afterwards, didn't he? I think he meant big trophy, basically.
Yeah, so he's got that now. But yeah, if you'd said back then and this time 4 years ago that we'd be, I think, unequivocally the best team in the world right now, and obvious front runners in the Premier League, nobody really would have believed it. You know, we've got, what do we have, 3 of the top 5 players in the voting for best players in the world: Mane, Salah and Van Dijk, obviously.
The best goalkeeper in the world.
Best goalkeeper in the world, probably the best 2 fullbacks in the world, best defensive midfielder in the world at the moment in Fabinho. Yeah, it's incredible, and I can't believe how quick it's gone. I remember it was the first week at university actually for me when he got announced on that Thursday. I remember it very well. So I kind of, those 4 years, that's the start of my university to where I am now. So kind of very neat in that sense. And to go from where we were, I think we didn't win any of his first. Did we draw all of his first 3 games?
I think so. It was Tottenham. We drew with Ruben Kazan.
We drew in the Europa League, and I think we might have drawn another one. But anyway, it wasn't a flying start by any means, because he took over a squad which had no identity, no kind of clear way of playing, no confidence, no anything. We had good players there, but even players like Firmino at that point were just, nobody really knew anything.
Milner, people weren't big into at the start either. Yeah.
Players like Benteke were knocking about, who was obviously Rodgers' kind of last big signing, which very quickly became apparent it wasn't going to work out. So he inherited a bit of a mess, really. He inherited a broken fan base as well. We'd all kind of lost hope after that horrible 2014-15 season. So the scale of a transformation, not just changing the fortunes on the pitch, but kind of transforming the whole mentality of supporters in general off the pitch is incredible.
He is officially the best coach in world football now as well. Yeah. It's nice that other people know it and not just us. The main striking thing when I think about the comparison between then and now, and how I feel going to Liverpool games now and just about the football club in general, is that not only are we the best team in the world at the minute, and certainly over the course of, say, the past 18, 24 months in the top 2 of that, you would think as well. It's the fact that we genuinely terrify other teams. It's not just that we're really, really good and we'll beat you by the end. It's everything put together. It's that we've got this really intense way of playing that's relentless. It's raucous. You can't deal with it for 90 minutes across the course of a game, but we can also just have 10 minutes against you where we'll score 3 really good goals and you haven't done anything wrong, really. Yeah. You've just had it done to you, because the entirety of the match and the way that it's played, the pace that it's played at, is dictated to you by Liverpool. Liverpool are the most feared team in world football. If any team is playing a cup final in any competition this weekend, the last team on planet Earth that they want to face is Liverpool, and that's a brilliant position to be in. It's testament to everything. It's loads of individual quality in the squad. It's really good coaching with, you know, the rest of the staff that are there, because Peter Krawietz has been here 4 years today as well. It's not just Klopp. There was Buvac before. There's Pep Lijnders now. There's loads of new fitness staff involved, but it's all him. It's all. I think what I'm trying to say is that this is a football team in his image. Yeah, it's his personality exactly. On the football pitch, and that's why it works so much. In the same way that I think Guardiola is like that, Mourinho's teams are like that, Benitez's team was like that. The real elite football managers play like you would imagine 11 versions of them playing on the pitch. Yeah. If they had the same ability, you know what I mean. So it's just stunning to think about that. You know, 4 years ago in Europe, we were in that Europa League group. We were not doing well in it. We finished 8th in the league in Klopp's first season as well.
We beat Wolfsburg over 2 legs with a 1-0 Milner penalty. Like,
Yeah. Augsburg beat Augsburg, and then and then the United games we get through on the adrenaline of it. It's not like those games aren't full of quality apart from the Coutinho goal. Really, Dortmund was insane, and I often think back to those couple of games, United and Dortmund, and think I wonder if things would be really very different if they hadn't gone our way, because we all totally buy into Klopp in that moment. I think he came in with a lot of good faith. We knew he was a good manager. We knew he'd accomplished an awful lot with Dortmund. Everyone liked Dortmund and the way that they played. They had brought through players that people hadn't heard of and went on to be superstars. So I think everyone gave him the benefit of the doubt and thought this is probably a really good manager for us. But it was that Europa League run where everyone went, hang on, this is something special. We don't do that all the time. We talk about brilliant Anfield nights, but that Dortmund one, at the time, it's been bettered since, but at the time that was up there with the very, very best, even though it was the secondary competition. I do wonder whether everything sort of rode on the madness of those couple of rounds of the Europa League, where if we get knocked out that night and we go into the summer, we've been knocked out of the semi of the Europa League and we finished 8th. I'm not saying that he's getting sacked by any means or that people are calling for his head, but the feel-good factor maybe just isn't quite there as much, and we definitely do operate on that sort of momentum of positivity. That's what he's tried to harness ever since he's come in, and that's crucial to him. And I do think that those couple of months, March, April time, 2016, are what set us up to win the European Cup in 2019.
Yeah, it's you can so clearly see the progression, which is what's kind of so satisfying looking back on those 4 years. I remember there's that kind of iconic image from his first game against Tottenham when he'd obviously had like a couple of days in training and he clearly just told them, right, we want to press, we want to run, we're not going to get this system kind of properly sorted for months yet because it takes a long time to kind of instill his philosophy, but we're going to run the legs off them. And there's that picture of Lallana coming off, collapsing into his arms after that game. He completely ran himself into the ground. And what you saw in that first kind of, 3/4 of the season really under Klopp was a team running around a lot, but not really with a clear identity of what they're doing on the ball, because a lot of those players just weren't suited long term to what Klopp was trying to do. And that, when he first came in, it was largely about trying to work out which players he could carry forward and would fit his plans of which ones he wanted to let go. So that's why we saw players like Benteke move on and Sacco got shipped on.
But also there are other ones that we would have never expected to stay, like Alberto Moreno. Well, who ends up doing probably 3 or 4 years longer than anyone would have thought he would have. And he was genuinely useful to Liverpool because the manager saw something in him, thought, all right, this lad's personality might be a bit mad and he's certainly unpredictable on the football pitch, but there's something there I can work with. Yeah. And he's done that with the likes of Moreno, who's a squad player, but also Divock Origi ends up being our favourite Liverpool player of all time.
In that Dortmund game, that's what is kind of so frustrating about the injury that he got when that Funes Mori tackle happened. He was Klopp's go-to man. He was keeping a fit Daniel Sturridge out of the team at that point. So to kind of see us go on that journey, obviously we had the 2 cup finals, a League Cup final and Europa League, which we lost, but that gave us a belief that was something there. 16-17 was all about top 4. He brings in Mane, which was the pace that we didn't have, a kind of completely transformative player, really. I think you can almost track our kind of progress under Klopp by the arrival of Mane, and also Wijnaldum, who we brought in as this sort of attacking midfielder from Newcastle, and everyone was a bit confused about it, and has been central to everything we've done since. Ended up kind of scraping over the line on the last day of that season, but I always look back on that Middlesbrough game and the run up to that Middlesbrough game with West Ham and the Watford's Emre Can goal. Yeah. Those are all massive, because if we hadn't got Champions League, and obviously it took the Hoffenheim qualifier to get there, hadn't got that, then nothing that happens afterwards follows, because you don't get the players in, you don't get players like Mohamed Salah without Champions League football. So then you had that next season where it was all about consolidating our status, making sure that Champions League wasn't just a one-off, it was the base level. We did it again, but it was all about the run to the final, which just kind of, that's when everything really took off. You had those amazing, the Man City one at Anfield, which that first half hour was, it all goes back to that West Brom thing when everyone was taking the mick out of him because he took the players to go and salute the cop, and we drawn 2-2, and it was a point at home to a terrible team, really, that we should have beaten. But that was kind of a start of this relationship, I suppose, with the crowd, which you see in games like Man City, Roma, Dortmund, Barcelona. There's just so many examples of them now. And yeah, it's the progression. We had the Kiev final, obviously freak circumstances didn't go our way. But that kind of really was the platform for just kicking on. I don't think anyone saw us going from 75 to 97 points last season. And then on the evidence so far this season, we're just going to keep on building. And I think that's what you see now when you look at the current incarnation of Klopp's Liverpool. it's a accumulation of everything we have been over the last 4 years. We've got the incredible counter-attacking side of us. We've got the intensity in our pressing, but we also defend brilliantly. We control games. We can win games 1-0. We can win games 2-1 like we did against Leicester. We can squeeze teams into submission, or we can just grind them into the ground by just eventually their legs go because they're so exhausted. And yeah, we're such a sort of... We've got so many different ways now to win games, which I think is what you've seen. Every season has had kind of a new component built, and it feels like we've arrived at a point now where there is almost no discernible weakness in the team, which is an amazing thing to be able to say.
He's given us, without doubt, not just in terms of being football supporters, but just as human beings involved in life in the way that we are, genuinely some of the best nights and days of our lives. And that to me is the most staggering thing, is there's just so many of them. So we talked about Dortmund there. We've almost forgotten Dortmund a little bit, or we don't speak about it so much because there's been so much since. Yeah. Roma 5-2 at home was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen.
Still,
and then a year later we do Barcelona 4-0. And so then City 3-0 at home in the Champions League is like about 10th on my list, because there's derbies, there's games against United, whatever else, that all for me go above that. And if you sort of rank the things that he's done, it's incredible, because growing up, we grew up with Benitez. I caught a fair bit of Houllier as well towards the end, and people would tell me then that those were the glory days, going and beating Milan in the San Siro. That's what it's all about, and these different nights that they'd lived. And I always wanted them for myself when I was, a teenager, older, or young adult, whatever, to be able to go and go to the game. The fact that he's now given us them, especially at our age, is brilliant, because most football teams would kill for one. Everton, Man United in the past few years, any team basically that's not at the very top of football and hasn't spent a significant amount of time there in their history would kill for a 3-0 against City in a European Cup quarter-final. And it's not even in our top 6-7 under Klopp anymore in the past few years. The sheer frequency with which he has engineered these incredible nights where he brings the atmosphere with him, and everyone who goes to the game on a regular basis has improved an awful lot since the Rodgers days as well. But he's the engineer of all that. To have done it so often in such a short space of time is staggering. I doubt, I'm not a fan of any other football team, so I can't say for certain, but I doubt that any other team has had so many delirious games of football played under one manager in such a short space of time in history. I think that's what we're living more than anyone else right now. Yeah,
you're exactly right with that. And I think the thing that I always look back on now is that Madrid final this year, to me, it felt like such a crossroads really for Klopp, because my biggest fear, the reason I was so nervous, and I thought we would beat Tottenham because we had the experience of a year before, we're a better team than Tottenham, there's a reason we finished 20 plus points ahead of them in the league, but it's a cup final, anything can happen. You could have a penalty go against you early on like they had, or you could have a player go off injured, or a red card happens and you just lose on the day. And I really felt that this year, with all the talk of Klopp having lost his last 6 or 7 finals before that, and this Liverpool team had just got so close so many times. You had the League Cup final, the Europa League final, the Champions League final the year before that, losing the league by 1 point. I just felt if we didn't get over the line this time, honestly, like the psychological damage that would do, I do not think, in fact, I'm certain we would not be sitting here right now with 24 points from 24 in the first day if we'd lost that final to Tottenham. Because as much as I don't think it wouldn't have killed us in the sense that we still had a brilliant team, Klopp would still be a great manager and we'd still have the same great players. The belief that they've taken now from getting themselves over the line, you can just see it in every single performance, because that weight is off their shoulders. They then went and got the Super Cup as well. They now feel like winners, and I think to have gone to the lengths they did last season and get 97 points and then lose to a team who finished over 20 points behind them in the league, I just think would have been catastrophic, really. So for me, that was kind of the launch pad for whatever happens this season. It's not been a bad start by any means. So yeah, it is unbelievable. And in terms of like ranking the moments, obviously the Champions League's got to be the pinnacle, but in terms of nights, the Barcelona one is, I think, the greatest, well, it's definitely the greatest Liverpool performance I've ever seen. And there's so many behind that. The Man City one, the fact that we've just got this list of them in 4 years, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come in the next few weeks and months.
We are now sitting here with 8 wins from 8 in the Premier League, and we are sitting as champions of Europe as well. And it's all because of Jurgen Klopp. He is the mastermind behind all this, and I hope that there's more than another 4 years to come, quite frankly, because I would not swap that man for anyone in the world until the day that he decides to stop. Joel has been writing about him already this morning, so that piece is on liverpool.com. We're doing plenty more as well this afternoon after we record this, so make sure to check out the website. We do loads of good writing on a daily basis. People seem to really like it as well. The site is clean. It's got good quality writing on it, and we hope that more people get on board with us, basically, because we want to share it with more people, share the journey of supporting Liverpool Football Club. So make sure to do that. Also subscribe to Blood Red on YouTube. Make sure to click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos. But for now, thank you for watching. Thanks from Joel. Thanks from me. Enjoy the rest of your day. All the best.